Welcome to the series Employee Health Services, Mind, Body, and Spirit. Employee Health is a section in the City of Albuquerque's Risk Management Division. Its mission is to promote a sense of community and increase wellness among city employees and their families by providing education and counseling about physical and mental health. And now, Mind, Body, and Spirit with Dr. Julia Bain.
Hello, this is Dr. Julia Bain, and welcome to Mind, Body, and Spirit. Today we have a very special guest joining us. We have Mayor Richard Berry. Welcome to the show, Mayor.
Hey, Doc. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Great to see you. I always see you in the hallways, and you're always so vibrant, and you're someone that loves your work, and we appreciate you very much.
Thanks, boss. I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on the show. And we are going to talk about who are you? What is your vision for Albuquerque? How much have you enjoyed being our mayor? I know I have enjoyed having you for my boss very, very much. I can't thank you enough for your optimism and encouragement. So let's just talk about what is it like having been the mayor of Albuquerque. What has this experience been like for you?
Well, let me kind of go back to 1982 when I pulled into the city of Albuquerque in my, not beat up car, but kind of my jalopy, and to go to the University of New Mexico. I came to New Mexico.
What were you driving?
I was driving an older Cutlass at the time, an Oldsmobile Cutlass, with my pole vaulting poles taped to the side. I was a track and field guy at the university. I came out here to run track for the Lobos. But I'd been out to Philmont Boy Scout Ranch as a teenager and really fell in love with New Mexico. So when I had some opportunities through athletics to decide where I wanted to go to college, to go to university, New Mexico was one of those choices. Having seen Philmont, having fallen in love with the state, with the mountains, with the air, it was a natural choice for me. So the trip to mayorhood for me was really a young man who moved here in 1982, met my beautiful wife at the university.
Yay!
Have built our business here, have, raising our family here. So I really see myself as a regular guy that at one point in time in my early 40s, Marie and I sat down at the kitchen table and we said, our business is going well, we've worked really hard. At some point, we want to do more public service. What would that look like? I didn't know if it would be the school board or the city council or whatever. So we started with this idea of, doors open and close every day in your life. Well, for me, one of the first doors that opened for public service was the state legislature. So I spent 2 terms there.
What was that like?
That was wonderful. And there's things about that I miss. I like policy a lot. I like crafting policy, talking about meaningful things, not just talking about things here, but really talking about the future and trying to plan for not just today and not just on an emergency basis, but really what's going to make a difference for education, the economy, jobs, you name it. So I really enjoy that, have many, many friends in the legislature, both sides of the aisle. And there's things about that I miss. But I tell you, being the mayor is an absolutely fantastic job. So for me, when an opportunity came up in my mind where I could get a chance to serve the city that I love, we took that opportunity, we took that chance. And it was a little bit of a long shot, but we people gave us the opportunity. And so being the mayor is, for me, it's a dream of a lifetime. I mean, it's something where if you would have asked me 10 years ago, would you be in politics? Would you be an elected official? I would have said, gosh, we're working hard in our business. I wouldn't know. But the actual job of being the mayor is absolutely wonderful, and it's wonderful for lots of reasons. There are things that I get to do and people that I get to meet as a mayor that I never would have had the opportunity.
Indeed.
I've had a chance to do things, I went to my first Shabbat meal at the rabbi's house. I got to do that because I was the mayor. I got a chance to meet Cesar Chavez's children. And I got a chance to talk about that. I get a chance to meet business people. I get a chance to meet citizens, every day that if I wasn't the mayor, I just wouldn't get a chance to do. And I love people. I love people that get, because we all do the same things. We get up every day. We have our victories every day. We have our struggles every day. And it's no different as a mayor. So, it's just difficult times with budgets, certainly the first couple of years of the administration. The economy hasn't come back. We've had to make some tough choices. But we're working to drive crime rates down And one of the things that I really enjoy about the city is that we've got 6,000 plus employees. And I love to talk them up around the city. I love to go to meetings.
Thank you.
Well, look, I mean, the stories that make the news generally are the small percentage of people that maybe aren't doing the right thing today. But we have 99.9% of the people that are coming to work, they're building their careers at the city. They are working hard. Mayors like myself, we come and we go. But there are people, yourself included, you were here before I got here, and you'll be here when I'm not here. So my opportunity now is to try to bring leadership and vision and just plain old hard work and some gumption to City Hall and build up the city, build up the organization, but also build up the city that we all live in and love. That was a long answer for you.
I love it. That's perfect. Were you in Toastmasters or
No.
theater? Or why are
No.
you're just so comfortable no matter where you are and what you're talking about?
I don't
Business
know.
presentations?
I just don't get nervous in the job. I can talk to, you know, I get nervous at the dentist.
Don't we all?
But I don't get nervous. I just don't get nervous doing this job, and I think it's just a part of this idea that I love it so much. You know, I'll stay up late. I'll get up early. When Marie and I decided to make a family decision to serve the community and serve the state, we took that in earnest and we said, you know, I've been blessed with a lot of energy, and you know, with my degree in business and finance and with 20 years of business experience, I think I've been through tough spots through my life, whether it was in making payrolls in a business or dealing with employees at our company and making sure that they had bright futures. So a lot of the things I see day to day as a mayor, I've seen before. So there's not a lot of things that catch you, that at least have been able to, you know, that have caught me by surprise.
Right.
But I just want to make sure that when I walk away from the job, that I can say I gave it everything I had.
Yes.
And yes, we're going to make mistakes, but let's make them honest ones. And let's have a candid conversation with the community about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then just be the best darn cheerleader we can for what I think is one of the great places in America.
Have passion, be bold. And it is the 6,500 employees that make this town run.
They do a great job.
They make this, that's who makes it possible for over 500,000 people to live here. And I would like to say, and you know, sometimes we do get bad press, you know, and I just want the audience to know that city employees are some of the most incredible, hardworking people you would ever want to know, and just sometimes white knuckle it because, you know, we have had pay cuts, we have, you know, no raises. People worked, you know, 2 jobs. I know I've done it in my career with the city 2 times. You know, drive a $12,000 car for 9 years, pay for parking. I think I'm up to $14,000 in parking fees that I've paid in my career. That's not what people hear,
well,
you know, on TV. And I want you to go ahead and say, you know what? Yes, we do sacrifice.
We try to change that through several things. One of the first things I did when I got elected is I put the Employee of the Week parking spot. And that may look like a small thing, but that's where the mayor used to park. And I park in the same row there, but I wanted to make sure that people knew that we valued our employees, because one of the things you learn in the private sector is you're no better or no worse than your employees. And so as a mayor, if we don't have police officers going out and keeping our neighborhood safe, if we don't have firefighters keeping us safe, if we don't have people doing accounting and bookkeeping, if we don't have people picking up the trash, if we don't have people mowing the grass in the parks, if we don't, I mean, I could go through every department, if we don't have people running our senior centers and doing great youth programs, well,
getting the dangerous dogs.
Absolutely. So the point is, we started Friday's Heroes, just the first month I was in office, an Employee of the Week. So every Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we get a chance to show the public some of the great work that's being done by our public safety employees, but also our civilian and non-public safety employees. And we had this discussion at the very beginning about, well, should we do Employee of the Month? Should we do Employee every couple of weeks? Boy, it'd be hard to find somebody. Would it be hard to find somebody every week? The short answer is no. I mean, we just have great story after great story after great story.
Every employee is a champion every day.
And guess what a lot of the stories are?
What?
A lot of the stories are people who are off duty, who are doing something outside of the scope of their work, who are going out. So that tells you, that's a key factor. That tells you that you have people that are willing to go above and beyond. And that's what I look for. You know, we look for true believers.
Okay.
And what does that mean? That means lots of things to people. But for me, a true believer means, yes, you have a career. Yes, it's a paycheck. We all have to pay our mortgages. We all have to pay, do those things and put food on the table and get school supplies and whatever your circumstance is, braces and tires on the car.
Right, right.
But we have so many people that just go above and beyond, whether they're Little League coaches or whether they're on the board of their church or whether they're out doing extra things. Solid waste folks recently did a clothing drive for the kids at APS that don't have enough, that don't have a clothing bank. So the kids can come in and they don't have to wear old beat up clothes and out of style clothes at school. And that's not a rarity. Mm-hmm. That's kind of an everyday thing.
Right.
And so, yeah, you're right. With 6,500 employees and with $1 billion operation, which is basically what we have here, your chances of going a long time without somebody having a bad day aren't very good. The chances of everybody knowing about it are really good. But it's our opportunity to basically say, look, that's not the norm. So I don't spend a lot of time on it. That's going to happen. We handle it when it comes up. But we don't want that to diminish this idea that we have great employees. We had to make some difficult decisions. Since my first budget, we've had to cut almost $145 million out of city spending.
How come?
Well, because frankly, I want to make it sound political, but because we grew government too fast for a period of time. Before, the cost of city government went up almost 50% from in the mid 2000s. Well, things got ramped up to the point where, like at home, we built our budget beyond our ability to sustain our revenues. And that's where we talk about fiscal responsibility. But when you say fiscal responsibility, that certainly means for you and I at home, we have to live within our means. Well, cities and states and nations are no different than that.
Right.
Well, we got in here, in the first year we had to cut almost $100 million. We had to cut $66 million in the first budget, and we had to cut $25 million in the second half of the budget that we got here.
What would have happened if you hadn't done that?
Mass layoffs. We had two choices, and cities around the country have made different choices, and mayors around the country have made different choices. I took the position that, like the private sector, if we all row the boat together as public employees, myself included, took a 5% pay cut, we're going to do better than getting ourselves in a situation where I have to send hundreds of people home. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have the money to pay the bills, you've got to make cuts. So what we did was we've cut initially about 250 vacant positions from the city.
Yes.
We haven't had any layoffs. And I went to the employees, or I basically went out in public and said, I think the best way for us to do this is we'll take an across the board, we talked about anywhere from 2.2 to 3% pay cut. Certainly there's people in the private sector that fared far worse than that. We talk to them still every day. And then the idea was we'll do our best to bring people back as we have the ability to do that. So we cut pay the first year. Then last year we were able to set aside enough money for a 1% pay raise for those making less than 50. Some bargaining units took it. I don't think any bargaining units took it last year. This year we were able to do the same thing. We put another 1% pay raise on the table, trying to move people back. Would we love to be able to say, hey, the economy has improved to the point where the revenues are up, and here's your 2.2% back and get you back to square? Yes, we've said that all along. Yeah. We'd like to do that, but it's coming back slower than we would like. We're still in a position as a city where our cost of doing business with healthcare and other things are going up at about a 3% rate, and our revenues are going up at about a 2.5, 2.7% rate. Well, that's not sustainable.
It's a good thing you're a businessman.
Well, it's difficult, and as a mayor, listen, that was some of the longest nights and sleepless nights that I had trying to make that decision. But I look back now, and I feel strongly that that's the right thing to do, because you see newspaper articles every day about cities across the country either going bankrupt or, cities just, we're all creatures of sales taxes, and when the public isn't buying, and the GRT isn't coming in, and when home sales are down, that's our primary revenue stream. The county has property taxes, much more stable. The federal government can print money. I'm not a big favor of that, but the point is, we can't. We have to balance our budgets every year. So what I tell employees when I see them, I have no difficulty talking about this with anybody one-on-one. Yes, it was tough, but we kept people on the job, and we're keeping services to our community whole, and we will get through this together.
And you showed up at a supervisor training that I was delivering to new supervisors, and I said, the mayor's coming, and you stood up in front of those that group of people, and I was so impressed.
Well, it's
know?
a difficult discussion to have, but as a leader of the city, I'm willing to have that. You don't make decisions and run away from them. I'm willing to tell people what we did and why we did it. I know it's difficult, but let's hang in there together. And let's work together between
We're
the public
a team.
sector. Well, and it's not just us as a team. It's not just city employees. It's not just public sector employees as a team. It's the carpenter out on the street. It's the person who's trying to sell real estate. It's the teacher.
It's everybody who
lives
lives here.
It's all 600,000 of us or thereabouts in the metro in our city, and we're a large city, and we all need to be pulling the wagon and rolling together. And
how can people do that? What do you want to say to people watching this program? How do we help you, Mayor, pull this wagon?
We care about each other.
Okay.
I mean, we're kind of in a place in this country where this country's been through difficult times, whether you talk about the Great Depression, whether you talk about the 1950s had a horrible recession, the 70s had a horrible recession. We've had a horrible recession.
Yeah.
And you can cast blame and you can point fingers, you can do all of that. But for those of us who live in the city, we all have the same goals. And if it's neighbor helping neighbor, that makes a difference. If it's people, there's people in our community that need a helping hand that didn't need a helping hand 5 years ago. If we can pull together, whether it's the faith-based community, whether it's people in neighborhood associations, whether it's people just checking on your neighbor, if you have a senior as a neighbor, just checking on them. How you doing today?
Yeah.
How's it going? Need a little help? I see the yard didn't get mowed. You know what? I got a 15-year-old kid. I've got a neighbor in my neighborhood who's going through a difficult time with a medical situation.
Be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind.
Go clip the hedge for him. Go mow the yard. Take him a casserole. I mean, these things that are universal. They're not new to today, and mostly let's just all understand that I'm an optimist. Things will get better. This recovery is slow. It's a little bit of a jobless recovery that's going on. In fact, it's kind of mostly a jobless recovery that's going on out there. So what we're facing in Albuquerque is no different than folks are facing in any other town in the United States of our size.
Well, what's your vision for do you have a vision for Albuquerque in 5 years, in 10 years?
Absolutely.
When you look ahead, what do you see for us?
I see bright things and I see good things. And first of all, and I see that because we already have a great city. One of the things that we risk as a city, I think, is this good enough attitude. We have a beautiful city. We have mountains. We have a river. We've got great air. We've got great people that live here. We're
incredible climate.
We have great diversity, which is probably our greatest strength, in my opinion. We need to celebrate that. We don't, Albuquerque. The cool thing about it is, we don't tolerate diversity. We celebrate diversity.
Exactly.
And so I think as we look forward, I think what we want to be careful of is that we already have a great city. Now, what's our city going to look like in 25 years? If we sit on our hands, if we rest on our laurels, if you will, if we don't get out there and push things forward, which is what ABQ the Plan is about, if we don't bring the river more into our day-to-day lives, if we don't talk about recreational opportunities, if we don't talk about making it a great place to do business, if we don't talk about Albuquerque being a great place to live, work and play and all those things we talk about, then we're going to turn around in 25 years, which we're going to do anyway, and it goes by like that. And we're going to turn on 25 years, and we're either going to say one of two things. We're going to say, wow, I don't know, I don't remember one thing in particular, but this place looks great. Or we're going to turn around and say, boy, I don't remember one thing in particular, but we've let this place go. And what ABQ the Plan, what I'm pushing is...
Yeah, what's the plan?
I'm pushing this idea of let's make sure that we are making game-changing decisions as we go. Whether it's Paseo del Norte and I-25, getting that done on the ballot in November. So I'm asking people, vote for that. Employees can't advocate for votes. I can advocate for votes as a mayor.
Yeah.
I'm asking folks, let's get out and support I-25 and Paseo. Needs to be done. But let's also talk about the 50-mile activity trail around the city, wellness. Let's talk about pitching in as a city, making sure our educational system is all that it can be, even though we don't run the educational system. International baccalaureate programs, our Running Start for Careers program, where we're getting industry to come into the schools and teach curriculum. Let's talk about bus rapid transit, which is the next logical step in public transportation for the city of Albuquerque. Let's have a discussion with the state about the fairgrounds. How can we make the fairgrounds a better place, more of a robust place year-round in our city?
Yes.
Let's
be excited.
Well, here's the deal.
Like our mayor.
It's a team sport. Life is a team sport. If I can't do it as a mayor by myself. We have the county that does great things. We need to team with the county. We have the state that has resources and great folks in the legislature and in the governor's office. Let's team up. Let's talk to our congressional delegations. Let's talk to the federal folks about some of the things we've been able to do with solar, for example, at the airport and things. That's because we have support from the federal side.
And we have so many different clubs who, and people who are into philanthropy and people who give and give and give. This is a wonderful town.
This is a very giving community. Every chance we've had, Albuquerque Hitting Home, our homelessness initiative.
Yes.
We stood up and said, we need the help of the community. And this is kind of a bootstrap thing, I mean, they put straps on boots for a reason. It's to pull yourself up by them. And this town always comes through. This city always comes through. I've never had an instance as a mayor where I've stood up and said, I need your help. And if I've been able to explain why and why it matters, overwhelming support. So it's just a blessing for me. I mean, I'm just the luckiest guy in town. I get a chance to do to serve the city that I love, that my wife loves, and that my son's really, it's a good deal.
It is a good deal.
Yeah.
And you almost went to the Olympics.
No, I was a ways from going that far, but I came
this close.
No, not really. I was a kid that came from a small town who had God-given ability to jump high and run kind of fast. And I made the most of it. I came to New Mexico. It's what brought me here.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'3". Yeah, 6'3". I used to be maybe closer to 6'4".
It happens to all of us.
I'll be 50 this year. But it's for me, athletics was a lot of lessons I learned in life, and a lot of lessons that I bring to the office every day.
Play to win.
Yeah,
that's what I learned from athletics.
Well, but you learn other things too. But a lot of things lessons I learned that helped me in public service, I learned on the field of play. I learned that do your best. You're not going to win every day.
Yeah.
But you better do everything you can with the ability that God gave you, and then don't wish your opponents poorly. That's one of the things I learned in athletics was, if I was going to go up against you today on the field of play, whether it was basketball, I was a basketball player and a track guy. I don't want you to have a horrible game so I can win. I want you to have the best game you've ever had, and then I want to whoop you. Those are the things that, I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to twist your ankle.
Right.
I want you to succeed, but at the end of the day, I want to win. But then there's also lessons that you learn through athletics where it is about winning, but it is also about learning how to work as a team. It's also learning how to respect other people's abilities.
Succeed with compassion. How about that?
Well, it's not always a zero-sum game. And that's one of the things you learn in athletics. People say, well, wait a minute. Well, people say, wait a minute, you either score more than the other team and you win or you don't. Well, yeah, that's true in that instance. But if you can build your other teammates up, and look at the city. If you can build all the 6,500 of us, if we can all build each other up, we're all going to be a better team. You don't have to fail as an employee for me to succeed as an employee. And those are the things that I try to bring. And that's where I really learn to love people. And you learn how to win graciously, and you learn how to lose graciously. And I hate losing. I hate when the city of Albuquerque doesn't get a business and they go somewhere else and they don't come here. I don't like it when we don't get something done that's meaningful at the legislature. I don't like it when we don't get what I think is an important initiative through the city council or something along those lines.
With your charm, why isn't everybody flocking here?
Well, actually, people are kind of flocking here. I mean, we are.
There we go.
People are. I mean, we've had some, in the news lately. Here we are in July of 2012. We've had some news where we've had some companies. We've lost some jobs in the last couple of weeks. But we've also had some companies come in and bring hundreds of jobs to the city of Albuquerque. And I think the best thing we can all do is be ambassadors. We know we have a great city. Mm-hmm. We live here for a reason. We risk, if you're a small business person, you risk your capital here and you put your mortgage on the line to create jobs here for a reason. If you're a city employee, you come to work every day for a reason. Mm-hmm. And the best thing we can do, is if you travel out of state, if you've got friends and family, if you're on an airplane flying back and forth, or if you're in another state, the best thing you can do is say, you need to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is absolutely the best place for you to be. And I do that every day. It's the easiest thing I do as a mayor. And if we can all be that kind of an ambassador, we sent some kids off to Sasebo, Japan. I think we will be sending them off this week for a Sister Cities thing. Their job, I told them, they're young adults or adolescents. I said, your job is to tell them how great Albuquerque, New Mexico is, and make sure that when you're there, you're an ambassador for our city. If we all do that, and the employees do that, our employees do that.
I believe people come to work to. I believe employees come to work to make the world a better place. it really is about public service. It really is.
What we're all doing, and whether you're a neighborhood association president, or whether you're on the city council, or whether you're the mayor, or whether you're the president of the United States, you're a public servant. And we just have many, many great public servants in Albuquerque, and I'm just honored to work with everybody. And then I want to learn too. I always want to continue to learn, so I'm always asking people, help educate me as a mayor about your issue, about what we can do to make a fundamental difference in your situation. And we're very much a sponge still, very much still looking at the community, talking to people about things we can do to make a difference.
I like your values.
Just a regular guy.
They remind me of my own.
Yeah,
you know?
But there's lots of me out here. There's lots of people that I think feel this way. I'm nothing special. I'm just a guy that likes to work hard and loves my city. And so if people can work together with us, we're gonna take great leaps forward.
Nice. I'm glad you're my boss.
Well, I'm glad you do what you do. I don't see myself as your boss. I'm glad we're on the same team.
Okay, my leader.
We're teammates.
We're teammates. You're the captain.
Well, maybe so as a mayor. Yeah, and I don't shirk away from that. I like that position. We have a bully pulpit, and I get to paint with a pretty broad brush, and that's a good thing. And so we'll just kind of get up every day, take it a day at a time, and then also
enjoy the process.
I do enjoy the job.
Enjoy the process. That's what I say to employees a lot of the time is that it's our responsibility to enjoy this life, to do our best, and everybody white knuckles it. Everybody has trauma, heartache. Everybody has hard times. But everybody also has the ability to feel joy and give joy to other people and enjoy what's happening in the moment, because the moment is all that really is.
That's right.
That's all we have.
And we can argue like cats and dogs about an issue, but at the end of the day, let's step back and understand that we're all Americans, we're all New Mexicans, we're all Albuquerqueans, we're all people that, we're all in the same boat. And let's just make sure that we don't let it get petty and small on our disagreements. Let's make sure that we can have a robust discussion. And, I can question your judgment on an issue, but I should never question your motives on an issue, because people really are trying to do the best. And that's kind of a political thing to say. But I think one of the things that we need to get a little bit more on track is we can argue and discuss and disagree on issues, but let's make sure at the end of the day we all appreciate each other and what we're doing. And then maybe we can pick up tomorrow and work on something that we do agree on. And then, so the zero-sum side of it is, I'll count my votes, you count yours, you either win or I lose, or I win. And that's the zero-sum side of it, but the non-zero-sum side of it is we can find some common ground, we can find things we can work on. And that's 80% of it, and the 20% of it is things that we need to, those are core values, and those are important, and I'll fight for my core values, and you should too.
I do.
But
say yes to life, keep an open heart. That's my philosophy.
Have a servant's heart.
Yeah.
That's what I consider it.
Nice. We have just a couple minutes.
Okay.
Mayor, what words of wisdom would you like to leave for the history of Government Channel 16, the history of the world, in this moment? What do you want to say?
Well, it's not wisdom, really. It's just thanks. We've been in office now 2.5 years. It's gone very, very quickly. We've made some significant progress. And that's because of the people that we have on the team. We've been able to build a team that cares, on top of the people that were here before we got here that care. And I don't have any words of wisdom. It's just let's go out and love our city. Let's go out and enjoy our work. Let's do the things as a city that we need to do to make sure that we do turn around in 25 years, 15 years, 10 years and say, you know what, I don't remember any one big thing, but man, this was a great place when I got here in 1982, and I want it to be a great place when my son graduates from high school, and I want it to be a great place when, if I'm blessed with grandchildren, for them to grow up and live. And we're going to do that as a team. It's not just a mayor that can get that done, it's all of us working together. So let's just all continue to work together and appreciate what we have and make it an even better place. Oh,
I'm so glad you were born. I'm really glad I'm really glad you are who you are.
Well, thanks.
Thank you, Mayor.
Hey,
Thank you so much
for
coming
having me
on
on
the show.
today.
Maybe you'll come back again sometime.
Let me know. Happy to do
okay,
it.
take care. If there's anything you need, just give me a shout.
I will. I'll see you in the hall every day anyway.
Okay, I'll see you there. Thanks. And thank you for watching. This is Dr. Julia Bain. Until next time, be happy and be well.
This has been Employee Health Services Mind, Body, and Spirit. For more information, call the City of Albuquerque's Employee Health Services at 768-4613. Let the Employee Health Services staff let you be your best at work, at home, and at play.